Yeah, okay, 4 years in and we're still not getting this right because I started off on mute. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. If you're joining us from YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, welcome. My name is Atia Douglas, and I represent the First Citizens National Poetry Slam. I'm the project manager for 2024, and joining me is our head judge, Miss Ariel John. And we, or maybe I will say Ariel and we have a very important job this afternoon, which is to share with you guys the finalists, the Grand Slam finalists for 2024. So again, welcome. I know people will still be joining, so I'm gonna just talk a little bit while people, as they used to say when COVID was just in the thick of things and everybody was on Instagram, we waiting for the live to build, we build in the live. So just waiting for the live to build for people to join in because we don't want anybody to miss a thing, right? Again, if you're joining us, this is the live announcement of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam Grand Slam finalists, right? So we had a very exciting journey. We started auditions in February. We visited NALIS libraries in North, South, and Tobago Library Services in Tobago, of course. We had over 80 participants, and they all performed in front of course, a live judging panel, right? So we want to just say thank you to those judges who served, who got us through the first round, right? So that's, of course, our head judge, Ariel John, Patty Ann Ali, Evelyn Monroe, Chromatics, we all know Chromatics, and Victor Edwards. So we just want to say thank you to those who took us through that first part. So over 80 participants at the auditions round. We had the very difficult, well, the judges, I should say, had the very difficult duty of carving that down to 30 plus 4 wildcards, right? So we had 34 advancing to the semifinal stage at Central Bank Auditorium. And I will now, at this time, invite Ariel to just kind of give us her own synopsis of that experience from auditions to the semifinal stage and where we're going now.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Atia. And yes, thank you everyone for joining us here this evening. I know we're very eager to get into the things, the thing that you're here for, to hear who these finalists are. However, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how extremely tight the competition was this year. It was insane in terms of the results and how the judges scored everything. The person that, for example, I have a few stats here to offer. The difference in points between the person in 14th and 15th ranking, which is the difference between a finalist and someone who did not make that cut, is 0.26 points, right? The difference between the person who placed first, who ranked first in the semifinals, and the person who came out in the 14th place is literally only 4 points. So between, or among, I should say, among 14 participants, among 14 slammers, you have a 4-point difference, right? From the first to the 14th, right? So just keep that in mind. It was, I feel like it was a unanimous, not unanimous decision, but a unanimous outcome or summary that all of our semifinalists really did an amazing job. We really felt as though people did their best. They came with the power, they came with the stories, they came with the narratives. Special shout out to the people who were able to take genuine artistic risks. I hope that it has paid off for you. It was also very interesting to see one of our wild cards run up inside of there and even like make it into the finals. That was particularly exciting for me because it's for me like the underdog is like coming in and claiming their place, right? So that was real beautiful. I found that this year, of course, with all these new faces on stage, the seasoned poets get a run for their money. And as is custom, you can't necessarily predict the outcome of a slam because slam is a very subjective thing as it pertains to how the judges receive, as it pertains to how the audience receives it. So the results are generally unpredictable, and this year is no exception. There are a lot of surprises. Um, a lot of people who probably feel like they didn't make it probably did, and a lot of people who really feel they make it probably didn't. But hold tight, hold tight. The results are coming soon. A few more things. The range of performances that we saw on the weekend was phenomenal. I want to just also commend the Bocas Fest for making this space such an inclusive one. I feel like this is perhaps one of the most diverse casts that we've had since the slam has been happening since its inception, right? Yeah, thanks. I have here as a note, thanks for exploring new narratives, a lot of new narratives in the space, and it was really beautiful to see these new stories being told and so beautifully. And I just wanted to offer my congratulations to everyone who really did their thing and put it all out for the semifinals. I am going to step aside and just let us get to the moment of truth.
Thank you, Ariel. So yeah, you heard it from the head judge herself. And I will add to that to say that when semis won, when that day was over, we said, yeah, this was some good stuff. And then semis 2 came, and I think it just kind of blew everybody out of the water. The energy was different. It was exhilarating. So really and truly, it was an action-packed 2 days. So if you did not see it live, you missed out, but you will have an opportunity to see the broadcast on TTT in a couple weeks, so have no fear. Again, if you're just joining us, we are here, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam, well, me as the team representative and the head judge, Ariel John. We are here to share with you the finalists for the First Citizens National Poetry Grand Slam. And as you know, and if you didn't know, you know now, the Grand Slam takes place on April 28th at Queen's Hall. We're moving on up, right? So eventually we'll make our way back to Napa, but it's at Queen's Hall this year. We'll get all the ticket information as the show goes on, right? But we're here. So I don't know if I should stall a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, people saying they're anxious in the comments. I don't know.
I have a few more stats we could just
right, sure, here, right? No problem. Yeah.
The difference between the person who placed first and the person who placed second is 0.84 points. 0.84. The different for second and third, there was actually a tie. So therefore, the distance between the person or the people, I should say, that placed second and the person that placed fourth was 0.5 marks. Right? So every point counts in the end, and that's just the ways of the world. That's just the ways of the world. So
it is. So just in the effort of stalling again, if you're just joining us, because people are just joining us, right? You are here for the First Citizens National Poetry Slam Grand Slam Finals Review, or the Finalist Review, sorry, right? So I think people saying we could stall until 7. We could do all of that. Because of course we do want to hear Ariel's feedback about the finalists. So we'll come back and have a little chat again. So if my tech team, I think we could take it away. Maybe a little drum roll. I'll do a little, and when you guys are ready. All right. So there we have the results. Right now, and I am on live, but I'm looking at the Instagram comments. So you can feel free to tell me what you think in the Instagram comments, right? But we're going to recap the results again. So in alphabetical order, Abdul Majid Abdal Karim, Alexandra Stewart, Alicia Haynes, Daniel Batiste, Darian Cunningham, Darren Sandy, Deshaun Hernandez, Gabriel Murray, Kieran Isaac, Michael Logie, Ronaldo Briggs, Ronaldo Mohammed, Seth Sylvester, Shakira Burton. And these 14 poets are going up against the reigning champion, Kye Hernandez. And of course, we don't want to forget our standby poets, Kevin Sawyer and Soleil Labari. So if any of the 14 slip, just know who's sliding into your spot, right? And again, the Grand Slam is on April 28th. It is the closing event of the NGC Bocas Lit Fest, right? It's at Queen's Hall. Doors open 6 p.m., showtime 6:30 p.m., right? So first things first, your tickets, you're going to get your tickets at Island E right now. Physical tickets will be announced a little bit later on, but right now, grab your tickets at Island E, okay? It's a bigger venue, yes, right? It's not the 400 at Central Bank, but you do want to not be inside, right? Somebody said this may just be the best slam ever. I don't know. I think so.
I feel so. I'm inclined
to. So Ariel, chime in. What's your thoughts?
The comments coming in hot and sweaty. In the sense of people asking for their friend, people checking for their friend. They want to know what go on. Yeah. It was a very, very, very tight competition. And remember that there were 2 nights under consideration. I feel as though a lot of our finalists came from the second night. But you had to remember we had semis 1 as well, right? And all poets have to be considered across the board as one whole thing, one complete competition, right? So it was tight, it was difficult. I can't offer feedback in terms of who make it and who didn't make it. Slam is unpredictable. Ask any seasoned slam poet and they will tell you never know what to expect, right? You never know what you're going to get. So these are the tabulations of the 5 judges that were present on the weekend, and these are the results of that. So, may the odds continue to ever be in your favor.
Somebody said they want to see the rubric. The head judge explained the rubric twice,
Yeah.
Come on.
It was rough. It was, I give it to them. But, again, I also want to remind folks that everybody really delivered on the weekend. And we're really, really proud. I feel really proud of all our semi-finalists. They did their thing. They brought the fire. And, shout out to those who may not have made it this year. I hope that this does not deter you from entering again in time to come. Because if, we hope that we continue to have the support of First Citizens Bank so that we could continue to put on this competition for another decade at least,
Definitely. Yeah, so guys, you may not see your person this year, but of course, encourage them. One thing that maybe Ariel can just expand upon as well. Not much to expand upon, but remember, there was a time limit, right?
Yes,
4 minutes, 15 minutes grace period. So, as you may have made the points, but then there are deductions for your time if you go over the time limit. So just some things to consider if you're not seeing your person, and you have to be honest with ourselves, right?
Yeah, I actually, I forgot to mention that there were quite a few people who suffered time penalties, and that would have cost them immensely because, again, you see how those points, like that point system, that decimal system, come into play there in a real big way. So some of your faves might have gone over time, and that would have cost them their spot, right? So we had to keep all these things in mind as well. But thank you for reminding me of that, Atia.
Yeah, no problem. Again, just to remind you all, the graphic with the finalists will be posted to our social media, so feel free to share it. Feel free to go and engage. Tell us, if you're happy with the results. Feel free to say, oh gosh, my person that day. Don't say Bocas, Bocas, then Rabole. First Citizens now rob nobody, right? We had 5 very talented judges who followed to the best of their ability. And this is the result. As somebody said, this might be the best slam ever. And that's what we really want, right? For the spoken word community to grow, right? Again, tickets right now, you can get it on Island E. It's $200, right? Physical tickets will be announced. The release of those will be announced in time to come. The Grand Slam is on April 28th at Queen's Hall. Doors open at 6 p.m. The show starts at 6:30. And we started on time for the semifinals. So it's going to be the same thing. So don't play all your coming 7 o'clock and 7:30 and think that, you will get to take in the show in its entirety, right? So we are planning a very action-packed final, and we just look forward to the support. Any last words, Ariel?
Yeah, no, congratulations to all our finalists. We are looking forward in a big way to see what you'll bring to that Grand Slam stage. I'm excited.
Very well. All right, so maybe we just wanna, if my tech will allow. Yes, okay. He's on the ball. So we're gonna run the video again, right? Just for you to see who the finalists are for the Grand Slam, the First Citizens National Poetry Slam Grand Slam, right? And then so enjoy the rest of your evening. The finalists who are on whichever live, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, do look out for an email from us shortly, and more information will follow. Have a good evening.
Be well.